Hi, good day, everyone, and really thank you for joining us at the Elevate conference. It's a great honor and a pleasure to be able to talk once again at the Monday Elevate conference. My name is Avi Ayal. I'm the first investor in Monday and on the board of the company today. We've invested in the first funding round and in every funding round thereafter, and really had an unbelievable privilege to back Roy and Iran and the team right from the first days to this point where the company is performing unbelievably well, and with no small thanks to you, our partners and our customers who put your faith in us every day. So I was asked to talk for a few minutes on Monday at the early stage. When Monday started, it started as a small department, 2-3 people at Wix, which were developing a bit of software for Wix to use by its internal team. And Roy had a great idea to leave Wix, spin it out, and become an entrepreneur and start the business. With Iran joining him, we were one of the first investors, together with 1 or 2 others, who put money into the seed round of Monday. I remember at the time it was about $1.5 million to fund the business. And that was around February 2013. What we found out was that when we started, our approach was very much lopsided. It was very much what you call pulses today was the heart of Monday, and dashboards didn't really exist. And through a lot of work and effort, we found that a year later, once we had a total of 6 customers who were paying, there were lots of challenges with the way we were pursuing it. And in sitting with the customers and going through and understanding what their day looked like and how they were working, we found out very quickly that the main issue they had was that they have these Excel spreadsheets that were running around the business, and they were tracking information in those spreadsheets. And Roy and Iran figured out very quickly that actually by making the spreadsheet the heart of the system, in other words, what we call the dashboard today, the board today, sorry, we realized very quickly that that would be something of real value to customers. And that's really when things started changing for Monday. You know, I think the view was if we could just add one feature, we would have nailed it. And to that point, things were stuck. And I remember an early board meeting in January 2014, where we're sitting around the table, and I've been spending a bit of time with the guys looking at what they were doing and how they were changing, and they had figured out the solution. And in that board meeting, I pretty much clicked that we were onto something big, and the company needed the board to back them. And very luckily, the way the board was set up, I put my hand up and I said, you know, I'll give you another $500,000, or I'll give you another $1 million, and let's run. And really what we found was that Iran and Roy left the meeting, I feel that in a very strong position where they really thought that they could deliver on that $500,000 and get some really good results. And they worked, you know, 24/7, burning the midnight oil. And very quickly they found that they could take this information that they had, understand how to change the product and move the product very quickly to a position where they had more and more customers. And as they found they had more customers, they then found the next option that the payment page had, 6 or 8 options to pay, and there were all these different versions of how you could buy licenses. And then they went through that process, and they found that they could streamline that to make it a much easier model to pay. Through that process, the business started performing even better, and suddenly you went from having a situation where you had $6,000 in revenue to $50,000 in revenue every month. And the challenge and the maturity and the growth of the team and the business over that next 9 months was phenomenal. The business was really, everyone was doing 2 or 3 jobs because there wasn't enough money. Everyone was working so hard to try get the right focus on the right metrics and get this delivered. So what ended up happening is that the stats started to improve with the business. And when the stats started to improve, everyone's psychology started to improve. And very quickly we found that small things were making big difference. I remember my big contribution at the time was telling the guys, people don't get what you do, so put a picture of a notebook with a board on it, and that should be your landing page. And they mostly believed me, but then they stuck the cactus there, and when they put the cactus next to it, I think that brought all the signups. And you'll see that I think the cactus is still there on that page. But what we found is that I had the conviction in what they intended to achieve. So that conviction made my psychology very different to that of others. And I think some of that rubbed off on the team as well, that we had their back. And so what you found very quickly is there were additional features coming in. The team was growing. There was conviction and support from the investors who were backing them, and everything was set up for the business to then succeed. And on the back of that, we ended up giving the company even more money to focus on achieving more results rather than to go out and raise capital from somewhere else. What ended up happening is that it gave them a huge boost forward. Together with a pivot in the company and the product, everything suddenly started to change. And I remember, and I'll show you, there's a dashboard. I remember taking a photo of the day and keeping it. And everyone jokes that we still have it. And I'll put it up here for you to see. You'll see here on the dashboard. It doesn't come up so well, but it shows 6 paying customers. Now today we have thousands of paying customers. So it was amazing. And I think the company itself, the team, when they got the money and they had their target, when we moved from that 6 customers, we said, look, next month we want to see 25 customers. And the month after that, we want to see 50 customers. The team really took it on, and they understood that it wasn't just about producing good software, it was also producing numbers and metrics that made sense. I think that helped the team also focus itself. And it's a good example to other founders and smaller businesses out there. When times are hard, you have a choice. You can either give up You can muddle along and hope that the world changes around you, or you can take the future in your own hands and make something of it. And that's exactly what the guys did. They really went out and they wanted to achieve some good results, and off they went. So by the time that we got 9 months later, from that first money coming in, we kind of used the power of 2 as a target. So we said, if you're going to have 8 customers this month, then 16 the next, 32 the next, 64 the next, 128 the next. And so by December of 2014, suddenly we were with 512 customers. And it was amazing. I think it taught everyone that even when you at rock bottom, you need validation, you need support, but you have to decide that you're not going to fail. You have to decide that you're going to pull it off. And so even with Monday today, that you see it as having tens of thousands of customers and growing at the rate it's growing, it's not all roses. It didn't come from, from getting some money and building out a solution and not having any challenges. In fact, we were at the beginning thinking, they've lost all the money, it's the end of the road. It was really battled. And even when more money came in, it was initially, the first couple of years was very challenging. So, I think that today, when you look at Monday, there's so many good things going for it. The languages, the dashboards, the Monday apps, all of that is just kind of creating an unbelievable base platform to run your business on. And hence, coining the word, the operating system of your work OS, is very true for what Monday is and what it can become. The future is unbelievable, and we can really achieve it only with the partners around us and the people around us to make it a success. My view is that I still kind of look at it as one day Monday will become a great business. One day will become a very successful business. And I still kind of try to focus on it as being, we're at the beginning of the road, we at the early stage, there's still so much more to build. And we just at the beginning. And I think that approach, coupled with the approach of the folks, the managers running the business today, really is an approach of transparency, an approach that you don't take cover, you don't hide problems, share, solve the problem, figure it out, do the hard work, and you'll get to be a success. And it's a lesson that every company can learn. Also, not to rest on your laurels, because one day things are going well, the next day things may not. And really, to that point, one of the things where you really see the Monday team setting apart from a lot of the other founding teams and a lot of the business people out there is the handling of the company during the Corona period. When Corona happened, suddenly people were delaying purchases. People were saying, we're letting go a lot of people, so we don't need so many licenses, things like that. The folks at Monday got together, and the management team decided that, they weren't going to let something like Corona get in the way. So there were a couple of things that they did. One is that they used their travel budget, and they used some of the marketing budget that wasn't being spent on helping others. And they helped organizations which were feeding the poor. They were helping organizations with employing people who didn't have a job or who were laid off. They were helping orphans and organizations that manage children in distress or situations. And so the view was, we have this budget, we're running the business, we can manage doing a bit less, but we still have a budget that we can use, and we can put it to good effect. It wasn't let's button down to the extent that we will live just for ourselves and no one around us. The other thing that happens, as you know, Monday is an Israeli company started in Israel. And as the first corona teams were getting together by the government to manage the situation, what Monday did, it deployed, if I recall, close to 20 people into the health system in Israel to build and use Monday gratis to start managing the situation and understanding what was happening. As you'll appreciate, when an epidemic hits you, you don't have systems and things in place to deal with something of this nature, certainly as COVID hit. And it was unbelievably gratifying to see that the company and its staff were, one, putting themselves at risk, two, willing to give of their time when their families are at home and there's no schools and things are hard and all this mayhem and chaos going around, that they were setting up boards and using Monday in different departments in the hospitals and in the army and different areas to try and manage this and to help build and be part of the community and be part of the solution. And so as the first investor to close off, I couldn't be prouder of the team at Monday, the people I'm associated with, and that I've had a tiny, small piece in the success of a business that cares about its community, cares about the people around it, and is delivering for all its staff, for its customers, for its partners, for many, many charities around the world that need support during this time. And finding that it's a part of a community and not just out for a buck. And so, all I can tell you is be strong, keep selling, help us make it a success. I think the results for yourselves and for the people around you are going to be amazing, and really grateful to have you with us today and at the Elevate conference. And thank you for allowing me to share with you a bit of the early days story. There are many more stories, some of them embarrassing for Roy and Aran, but we'll keep that for another time. But for sharing that information with you and giving you a bit of a sense of the DNA of the company you represent, the company you work with, and the company whose products you sell or the products that you use. So thank you very much, and hope you enjoy Elevate. Have a great day.